Welcome back. There's a whole hidden world buzzing and crawling all around us, one that we usually just ignore. Well, today we're going to shrink down and explore it. We're going to look past the everyday bug to uncover some absolutely mind-blowing examples of engineering, art, and incredible complexity packed into these tiny creatures. Let's jump in.
And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. When we look this closely at these little animals, what are we really seeing? Are they just bugs? Or, as our source material suggests, are we looking at something else? Tiny, intricate miracles of design. Let's see what we can find.
Okay, first up, we're going to listen in on a group of insects that are basically nature's little musicians. We're diving into the order Orthoptera, the straight-winged insects.
So this name, Orthoptera, it literally just means straight wings. And that's because when they're not flying, that's exactly how they hold them, folded up nice and straight along their bodies. This is a huge group, and you definitely know some of its members, like crickets, grasshoppers, and even praying mantises.
So how in the world do they make those classic summer night sounds? Well, they've got these built-in musical instruments called stridulatory organs. It's actually a pretty simple system, but totally brilliant. There's a part called a scraper on one wing that they rub across a file on the other. It's just like a tiny violin. And to crank up the volume, their forewings vibrate, acting like natural amplifiers. And yeah, it's pretty much always the males putting on the show.
And get this, the precision is just wild. Take the snowy tree cricket. Some people actually call it the thermometer cricket. Because it's cold-blooded, its chirping speeds up or slows down exactly with the temperature. You can literally figure out the temperature in Fahrenheit just by counting its chirps for 15 seconds and then adding 40 to that number. No joke. How cool is that?
But, not every member of this family is out there making music. This group also includes locusts. Now, under certain conditions, these grasshoppers, which are normally loners, can completely transform. They gather into these massive, terrifying swarms that can literally eat every single plant in their path.
And our source material actually connects this to a passage from the Bible. In this text, locusts are mentioned as a symbol of judgment, but also as part of a larger promise, a promise for healing and forgiveness if people turn back.
All right, so from the world of sound, let's switch over to the world of sight, because we're about to explore what our source calls the incredible artistry of camouflage.
Okay, I want you to take a really close look at this. At first glance, it's just a beautiful orchid, right? Delicate, pink. But there is a master hunter hiding there in plain sight. Do you see it?
And there it is, the orchid mantis. I mean, come on, this has to be one of the most jaw-dropping examples of camouflage out there. Its body, its legs, its color, everything about it is designed to perfectly imitate a flower. It doesn't even have to hunt. It just waits for its prey to come right to it. And believe it or not, the orchid mantis is just the tip of the iceberg. The whole mantis family is full of these master hunters. That famous praying stance? That's them, ready to strike in an instant. And their camouflage is so varied. Some look like flowers, others look like twigs or leaves or even rocks. It's this amazing variety that our source points to as a sign of truly creative design. Okay, so we've seen masters of disguise. Now let's meet the masters of flight. We're talking about nature's own high-tech flying aces, the dragonflies. Dragonflies, and their more delicate-looking cousins, the damselflies, belong to the order Odonata. Now you might think the name is about their wings, right? But nope. Odonata actually means toothed, and it's all about the sharp, powerful jaws they use for hunting. I mean, seriously, the way a dragonfly flies is just an engineering masterpiece. They can go straight up, sideways, even backward. They can stop on a dime and just hover there. They do pretty much everything while flying. Hunting, eating, you name it. Their skills are so incredible that actual engineers study them to get ideas for designing better aircraft.
And speaking of advanced, how about speed? Some dragonflies have been clocked at nearly 100 kilometers per hour in short bursts. That's almost 60 miles per hour. It's like having a tiny fighter jet zipping around your backyard.
A lot of people mix up dragonflies and damselflies, but once you know what to look for, it's actually pretty easy to tell them apart. When a dragonfly rests, it holds its wings out flat, like an airplane, but a damselfly folds its wings up and back. Dragonflies are also usually bigger and chunkier, with huge eyes that touch in the middle. Damselflies are more slender, with their eyes set way apart on their head. All right, for our last stop on this tiny tour, let's check out a couple more insects with some unbelievably clever designs for hunting and even for protecting plants. So this brings us to a group called Neuroptera, which means nerve wings. And it's the perfect name, because if you get a close look at the wings of something like an antlion or a lacewing, you'll see why. Their veins create this beautiful, complex, net-like pattern that looks just like a network of nerves.
The antlion larva, this little guy is a brilliant trap builder. It digs this perfect little funnel-shaped pit in the sand by walking backwards in a spiral, flinging sand out with its head. Then it buries itself at the very bottom with just its huge jaws sticking out, and it waits. Sooner or later, an unlucky ant slides down the sandy slope and snap! It's an absolutely ingenious way to hunt.
And then we've got the lacewing larva, which has this awesome nickname, the aphid lion. And it has earned that name. These things are fantastic little guardians for any garden. They just gobble up tons and tons of aphids, the pests that can destroy plants. It's a perfect example of a beneficial insect at work.
And they're super effective at making sure the next generation of guardians is ready to go. A single female lacewing can lay up to 500 eggs. And here's the clever part. She often lays them right next to a big colony of aphids. That way, the second her babies hatch, they have a feast waiting for them. A pretty smart design for the next generation of aphid lions.
So when you think about it, we've seen tiny musicians, incredible artists, high-tech fighter jets, and genius engineers, all in the world of insects. As our source suggests, each one is just packed with complex, amazing, and purposeful features. So it all comes back to that first question we asked. When you see this level of detail and ingenuity up close, what does it tell you about the world around us? Thanks for watching.